everybody? Welcome to another night of racing here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. A Saturday night, another 12-pack just like we did last time out, but not as many, obviously, eliminations or stakes event. But there's plenty of stakes action going on across North America and within Canada as well. Of course, we've got a nice stakes card going on at Pocono right now with some big-time races upcoming with the likes of the Beal as well as the Hempt. And, of course, out in PEI, their signature day with the Gold Cup and Saucers. I bring in my Coastal Hall of Famer, Randy Waples. Last night, good handle. So, again, thanks to everybody who played along last night as well. We had a good payout in that pick six with a couple of big prices as well. But, you know, a couple of horses really surprised me with some of their efforts last time out. And we'll get to them momentarily. But I really do think next week we're setting ourselves up for a really big night of stakes action. But that William Wellwood final, I think we're sitting on quite a wide open affair, I'd say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I completely agree. You can go anywhere. A lot of it's going to come down to draw, right? Whoever draws the best post positions in that. Doc Moore's horse looked incredible last night, and I think he was a really popular kind of a winner. He certainly was with me, you know, seeing Tyler get the job done that. But when you think about it, I mean, he didn't really annihilate that field. He win by what, a half a length, and he's basically one of the better ones out there. So they're all seem to be, you know, close enough where it's going to come down to trip. You know, who gets the best trip.
We'll get to a Detonator Hanover momentarily, but speaking of the eliminations that we saw last night, let's take a look back at memory lane of what happened about 24 hours ago here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. And let's start off with the Peaceful Way elimination. Athena's Girl, a Marcus Melander trained filly, owned by Brad Grant. You know, big ticket purchase, rightfully so. She showed a lot of talent early on, but she also showed a lot of breaks. But that key set of equipment, though, Randy, those trotting hopples, they've really kind of helped her gait intact. And she's just so fast. And, look, she's going to be the one to beat without a doubt, and deservedly so. Just look at the Bonnie leg when John Dexter done on this filly.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, the big thing that I took away from her last night, too, is the length. Very long, you know. And, I mean, that's kind of the ones that you look for out there. They always used to be an old-timer say that if the horse is long, they have an extra rib, meaning they have bigger lungs.
I believe that was Chantal Mitchell's filly, Elusive Station, who finished, was it second or third? I tell you what, I've really liked the way that she's been racing. Yes, I love the way that she's been racing as of late.
Look at the run out.
Yeah, really sharp filly there, but it's going to be Athena's Girl who's likely going to be the one to beat in that Peaceful Way final. Let's look at this When You Wish Upon a Star final. Treacherous Nova, it didn't work out when she came first over a few starts ago. No problem for her whatsoever. I don't think that Americana Hanover brought her best per se, but Treacherous Nova, she kept on going. She was tons the best in this effort.
Unbelievable. 2 years in a row, he's come out with with an incredible 2-year-old filly, or recently anyway, Sangria Summer, and now this one. And I mean, Sangria Summer is just incredible right now as a 3-year-old. I'm not sure if this one isn't more talented as a 2-year-old than even Sangria Summer was. I think Sangria Summer maybe won one race as a 2-year-old, maybe. Yeah. And I don't even know if it was a stake race. This thing coming first over last night there and making them like it. Oh.
Horizontal, Sangria Summer, and now Treacherous Nova. A couple of young fillies that have come through Kevin Ben's care and have showed a lot of speed and talent. Treacherous Nova certainly fits that billing as well. And how about the stretch drive here from this first foal out of Donna Soprano? You heard Bob say that the favorite horse that he's ever gotten a chance to sit behind, and one that holds a big place in his heart. Her first foal, I mean, look at this effort that she put forth on the outside. She was never a factor. You couldn't even see her on the picture.
Yeah, absolutely. Unreal. Really good effort in there. But I got to say that I felt a little bit bad for Dexter Dunn because his horse should have been on the run. What a set of hands on Dexter Dunn. Do you remember that?
I thought she ran.
I did too. I thought that she was going to run, but somehow or another he kept her going and just gets nailed on the end.
You know what? It's not often you want to follow a horse that's 70-1, especially in Dexter Dunn's case with Marcus Melander, a trained horse. But Marcus talked about how he wanted Love's Passion to race with a target and felt like she would be better suited.
She got it.
Look, she got that target, but it almost cost her, jumping it off. But we're set some good performances by some fillies. But speaking of good performances, just another training mile here for Shalom Hanover, the son of Pappy Rob Hanover. Another year, another start pacing colt for Doc.
Unbelievable. Really is. And this isn't exactly one of his power ones either. I mean, nice big colt, but usually Doc there, his horses are always like on the elephant side almost. Big, strong kind of horses. But his gait, that seems to be the big thing to me. This is right from the very beginning. He paces like Bobby Orr skates.
Yeah, he's just a free-flowing individual. But and he might not even be the best pacing colt in North America or in his jurisdiction, but he's up there. I mean, he's won 1A between Starstruck Dreamer and Shalom Hanover, depending on how you look at it. But Shalom Hanover, I believe the Nassagaweya next weekend, and then his eyes are going to be on that Metro pace. Absolutely. Let's take a look here at this other William Wellwood elimination. And Gio's Cash, coming out of those New York Sire Stakes races, just absolutely wrapped up. He got a pretty soft middle half, but he was tons the best in this contest. Actually, I shouldn't say tons the best. His stablemate was pretty impressive, too.
Very, very impressive. Yeah, absolutely. Big rush on the end of it here for James McDonald, but look at the body language on Dexter.
Yep.
I mean, he doesn't even blink an eye. He's just staring into the video screen, watching James as he comes, but at no point did he feel any pressure.
Yeah, Marcus, he just has so much success everywhere, but especially here on Canadian soil as of late. Over the last few years, he's really dominated a lot of stakes events, and he's going to look and hope to have a big night in the Wellwood as well as the Peaceful Way. And let's look at this Open. Unreasonable, really good spot for her to just get back into the win column and just get a nice little confidence booster, because the efforts have been good though, Randy, but she's been taking on some Bearcats, but she belongs among the best in the division.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at this group at the back here, these are basically the best fillies and mares that, show up every week, but look at the difference here. And I mean, he's got the bit right back in her mouth at the wire. Nice job done by Jason Bartlett. Another guy that's nice to see come up here, because boy, he can make things happen too.
Geared down in 48 and 4, fastest mile of the night as well. Listen, Jason, we know, is one of the top reinsmen in our sport, but he's really started to cement himself, of course, as a Grand Circuit level driver. And let's take a look at Detonator Hanover's performance. We talked about him though, Randy. It's curious to see just maybe the respect that a guy like Tyler Moore gets out there on the racetrack. You kind of alluded to that last night. He was the 4-5 favorite. Dexter opted to remove on him with a horse that was a big-time contender and top reacher. But Detonator Hanover having to make a few moves in this contest, just getting up, but really savvy move by Tyler Moore, popping before the final turn to avoid himself getting locked in.
That was the big thing, and he didn't try to push forward or anything like that. He just moved him out of the 2-hole, sat him too wide, and just waited till the to the straightaway. And it was a good drive all around. So it's going to be interesting next week. And that was a great interview. Seeing Doc and Tyler in there together and that. I don't think Doc's one of them guys that's going to whip around praise. I never got that side of him or whatever, but he got a little emotional last night. You could tell.
I'm sure it's tough though, driving for your dad at times. I'm sure it can be. I mean, you've been in that situation before as well. I know Scott Zeron has talked about it extensively. I mean, he just said that Rick never really put much pressure on him, but it's just I'm not saying that's the case with Doc and Tyler, but I'm sure that it's tough anytime you do something with family, whether you work with them or drive horses for them as well. There could be some difference in opinions, but one thing that Doc said was, Tyler's done a great job with him, and he praised the job that he does with trotters, and it's paying off so far early on with Detonator Hanover.
And I like the other thing he said, too. He said when the horse came up from Florida, he got hot on him. He said he got away from him, you know what I mean? Like he got ahead of Doc, and he got Tyler to come over and temper him back down again. Now, I don't know if you remember, but last night when they did show Detonator before the race, Tyler's got he got one hand on the lines and his feet hanging down. He's got this horse settled right down. So, I mean, that's talent. If you can do that, that's talent.
I know that I want to highlight Ocean Storm or touch on Ocean Storm because he was third in that contest. What a big mile and a big performance by him. He had start number 1 last Sunday, maybe like about 6 days ago at Tioga in an Excelsior event, wrapped up winner. And then he steps up here in this William Wellwood elimination. Like, that's a big step up in class to go from start number 1 to winning an Excelsior Series leg to coming here to the Wellwood. And how about the vote of confidence from the ownership group and Cam Capone to bring him here on Canadian soil? He was an awesome third. I mean, I was so impressed with him given just what I was maybe expecting with him going into last night.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, it couldn't happen to a nicer family. Mark Capone for years and years, had a big stable. And I met Cam when I was working for Luke at White Birch Farms. That's him and his dad were stabled there or whatever. That's the first time I met him. Just a really nice guy.
Seems to like bringing in a bit of underdogs or sleepers here on Canadian soil. A big moment with Madden Oaks, obviously, in that North America Cup. And here he is bringing a 2-year-old trotting colt in Ocean Storm. We wish him the best of luck in that final next week. And I spoke about some stakes events that are going to be going on across North America, and obviously Pocono having their Sun Stakes day. The Beal is going to highlight the trotting event there for those 3-year-old, those sophomore trotting colts, and we're going to have the sophomore pacing colts going postward here in the $300,000 Max Hemp Memorial. What a field. I mean, we kind of wanted to see all the top ones go against each other. We really haven't been privy to that as of late due to some setbacks for some of these colts. We did get to see it in the North America Cup, and now we're going to get to see another edition of these colts going to action. Only difference is some of these colts, they're coming off some lackluster performances. Some of these colts aren't at their best. and some of these colts might be peaking at the right time. What do you think about this field, and what are your thoughts about this race as a whole?
Well, the race as a whole, I mean, I'm really kind of hoping that Bojangles somehow or another, starts to find that mojo again and rebounds. You know what I mean? It's just it's just kind of sad to see, how his 3-year-old year has progressed. You know what I'm saying? Is Tetrick here this day?
He's there.
He'd have to be, right?
Yeah.
So Scotty got the drive back on Sweet
You know what? I got a chance to speak to Danny Legacy, and he just kind of came to the conclusion of he doesn't believe that a driver should lose a drive
because they got hurt.
Because they got hurt. I mean,
Cool.
they got along with him, got along really well on Hambo Day. Did Tim Tetrick and Danny Legacy, and that was his first big stakes win, and what was a really nice speed batch too. But kudos to Dan Legacy and the ownership group as well. I mean, I think it seems fair to me, right?
Absolutely.
Lose a drive due to
and the other thing is we've seen that on Hambletonian Day. This Scotty Z had all these horses just primed for a huge Hambletonian Day. And he ends up getting hurt. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's nice to see Dan, stick by him.
Sweet Love and Lou's been really unlucky, though. If you really think about it, I mean, he worked out a picture-perfect trip, Meadowlands Pace Night. He throws two shoes that day. He really should have won in that event, given the trip. Just didn't bring his best. But when you lose 2 shoes, it's really tough. And then I thought it was an adventurous trip in the Adios. He had to deal with some, issues here on North America Cup night as well. He's not the easiest horse to ship either. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. So, I mean, you're a stud. Can get a little bit studdy at times. He's got a certain demeanor about him, but he's fast. And you put it all together on Hambo Day. But this is a really good field. How often or when have we ever seen Bojangles at 10-1 morning line? I don't put any stock in morning lines, but it's just so strange to see him at that double-digit number. We're not going to see him at double digits here, but I'm curious to see what kind of effort we're going to see from him. And Al Papi, I thought, has been racing well. Malillo, also 12-1. I think that seems high. But this is a really good, group of sophomore pacing colts.
Truthfully, though, take the home field advantage out of it. He deserves to be 10-1.
Yeah,
he does.
No, you're right.
He's racing right now. I mean, if you don't know anything about Bojangles and you're the guy that puts the morning line together at Pocono, and you look at his lines, how could you not?
Yeah, I think it's computers potentially, but regardless, you're right. He's not bringing his A game.
That's
right.
The biggest thing that he gets up here where people are still playing him. I mean, his last start here, Garnet had him right up on top.
Yeah.
The reason is because of Bojangles before, not what he's doing right now.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, a good group going postward here. As speaking of Luke Blade Determination and Sangria Summer, they get it done. I believe in the Lynch, 2-1. Another stake score for Team Determination with this filly. It took a little while for her to get going, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
She wasn't going by certain horses in overnight company, but she gets the job done. Now, back-to-back victories for her after capturing, I believe, the Shady Daisy. And now,
you know something? I've seen the big difference, and I mean, it probably isn't, but the big difference that where she really started to come around was when he tied her tail forward.
That,
He didn't tie it back. He tied it forward, and lots of people do that with fillies, and he did it with her, and she'd never wore it before. And since then, I mean, she's just been a completely different horse.
Look out. Congrats to Determination, James McDonald, and Luke Blay as well. All right, we'll keep you posted with the rest of the stakes action as they come along. A couple of races to go until that Max Hempton Memorial, but we've got a 12-pack that we need to cover here as well, though, Randy. In a field of 10 going posted in the opener, and your current 2-1 favorite is a Zach Carroll trainee by the name of Can't Turn You Down. She's looking for win number 4 in a row. This daughter of Catawash, I mean, she's been really sharp, and she just continues to get faster and faster. I think she's the one to beat here tonight, even if she's missed a couple of weeks.
She probably is, but I mean, because she's missed a couple of weeks, I'm going to try to play against her, for that reason. I'm a big fan of horses being on that 7-day rotation. If you're going to get the absolute best out of them, and I'm not saying that she's got to bring her best, but she's got to bring close to it, because this filly that's also missed a week or two, that's got the 10-hole, boy, she can throw down pretty good too. This Cackleberry. So Can't Turn You Down. I had her in as locked in that last race. She did eventually get out and ended up being a nice winner in 50, but she got a pretty sweet trip too. Misses a few weeks, and I'm going to throw her in for third. Really raised her sharp right now. Cackleberry's going to be in for second. Singing in the Rain. Takes me back to my Gene Kelly days there, or whatever. I'm going to throw that one in for fourth, but Naughty Delight is the way that I'm going to go. Second start, Lasix. I'm not going to show you the replay of this one. She had the 10 hole in her last start. JD just took her back. I'm telling you, when he was moving her around the last turn and even down the lane, at all times she was leaning forward. He was never having to chase her. At the very, very end of it, he laid right away from her at the odds of 101 to 1. I think Tyler Borth is picking himself up a really, really live drive. And I think what people need to realize too with Naughty Delight, I know she hasn't exactly set the world on fire this year, but look what she did last year, John. This was a very legitimate kind of a filly, and all of a sudden now she started out her 3-year-old year kind of tepid, and now all of a sudden she shows up on Lasix. First start Lasix was a good one. If she improves and drops a second, I think that she can show up in the winner's circle, and maybe we're going to see this Naughty Delight. This is all she needed was the Lasix.
Yeah, it could be, because she showed a lot of speed as a rookie, didn't she? And she kind of tailed off, towards the end there. But we know that she, has some late speed on the end of it, and maybe this is, like you said, going to string together, consistent performance. I have her a part of a piece of it. I just don't know where we're going to see her off the gate in this particular spot. But if the trip works out, she can be a factor. I'm intrigued with Singing in the Rain, though. I believe that I think she was bred to, or she was going to be potentially a broodmare. I thought that was the case. I got to double check with the Rick Zier on there to get the 411 on Singing in the Rain, because she showed a lot of speed and talent early on. She's got a mark of 51-1. There's a lot of speed there.
Absolutely. I'm guessing you've never seen that movie?
No, I haven't. No, but it's a lot I haven't seen though, Randy. All right, we're moving on to race number 2. We got a field of 10 going postward here. Going to see some familiar faces back in action as well. A bit of a hiatus for Superior Delight. Going to give it her first go in Jamie Copley's scare. She was claimed, and she never really got a chance to race because she was scratched sick, and then was sidelined. So she's coming off a qualifying effort. I think she merits respect, but there's a couple of starters from the middle of the gate, I think, that bring a lot of class as well, and they should have every opportunity as well.
Where did you go?
I actually went to Superior Delight.
Did you?
Yeah, but I used 5 and 6 on my pick 5 ticket as well. I think those two are the ones to beat, probably.
Right. Okay, so Superior Delight, I'm going to play against her as well. I mean, nice qualifier over at Grand River, has missed substantial amount of time, and the only thing that kind of worries me a little, I mean, she was in Fellows' barn racing very, very well. Now she's going to be in Jamie Copley's barn. We've seen Jamie Copley putting up big numbers and lots of winners and that. But when, in my opinion, even when she was at her best, she was a 52 and change, 53 pacer that could get the job done. You know what I mean? I didn't really see any fast times, consistently up till that point. Whereas I'm going to try to go with Sunshine Magic in this race. I mean, to me, multiple moves in her last race. She's going to get a bridle change tonight. She's going to go from blind to blinkers. Every mile but the bottom one has been in 51. Every mile is 27 and change on the end of it. And she's going to take a drop from non-winners of 6,500 in her last down to this non-winners of 2,500. So I'm going to show you the replay on Sunshine Magic, because I think this one was pretty good. And we're going to go a little bit further back than we normally do. So you can see right now Phil Houdon driving this girl. He's sitting third. Right now, third on the rail right now. And watch as she goes around the turns. At all times, she's keeping up on her own. And in fact, to me, looks like she is looking for room. At no point is she losing ground. Is Phil looking to chase her? She's right up, nestled right up on top of JR there. And I mean, to me, she just looks like a horse looking for ground. Now, when he gets her out, we're going to see the exact sort of same thing. Nothing's really going to happen. To me, looking like a horse that looking for some ground. No point does he seem to be able to shake her loose. Now, I know she plays possum a lot. This is Glenborough on the outside. But look at this. At no point is he able to go with her. Now he finally gets to chase her. I think that it was a good effort. Now, this is a non-winners of 6,500. Now she takes the big drop down to non-winners of 2,500. Middle of the gate. Travis back on her again. I think that she can get the job done in here.
She worked her way up to much tougher. I believe almost, was it the preferred or maybe just below that? But nevertheless, right. I mean, this is a mare that should have every chance to stamp her ticket in getting back into the win column here. But I'm going to use her on the pick 5. She merits respect. Just maybe not bringing her best as of late. I still thought she should have been a little bit more competitive some of those prior outings, but she did show some life last time out. So that to me gives me an indication why I wanted to use her, because she's got a better draw to work with, a drop down in class. I do think that I agree with you. I think that's a remedy for success.
What about the 6 horse? Did you give this one any credit going back to Myrna?
I did. Yeah, that's one I had to use. I mean, she merits respect.
You went on front with this?
No, I went Superior Delight, but I used
right.
5, 6, 8 for me. I think I feel pretty safe using those 3 mares in this particular spot. That's race number 2. We're going to move on to race number 3. It's going to kick off that early pick 4. You showed Glenborough. You highlighted Glenborough as well. I mean, Sunshine Magic was the focus, but Glenborough was the mare, coming hard on the outside. How good was she? A little bit of a different dimension, though, last time, coming from way out of it, and 25 and change on the end of it. I'm hoping we see maybe a little bit of early speed from her tonight, and she can get situated in a pretty good spot. But if she replicates a similar performance like last week, she could be tough. But there's another Jody Cullen trainee in here that you're very intrigued with, and that's her next-door neighbor at Raptors 1, so tell me about her.
Little bit of a stale day, but taking a big drop down in class. You can see where she'd been racing. She made her way up to the Open a couple of times, up to that non-winners of 20,000, up to the non-winners of 12,000. Tonight, she's going to race in non-winners of 6,000. Again, little bit of a stale date, but it doesn't really bother me because she had 4 starts in July, and the last 2 starts, July the 31st, and the one before that, July the 25th. So technically, she came back on a 6-day rotation. So I think that she's going to be fairly tight, but we also got a replay to show of her in that last race. And so let's take a look at Raptors 1. We're going to show the last half basically on this one. You can see Travis is going to be driving this one, and Eddie Hensley picking up the drive. Now, normally I don't know if it's the way that it works, but I find a lot of times Travis goes with the Jody Cullen horse that's a little bit liver. But in this situation, does he not have to go with Glenborough if he's the owner? Mm-hmm. Okay, so again, here we go with her here. I mean, she just seems to me like she's just kind of going through the motions here. But again, this is up in non-winners of 9,000. He got her way in kind of a, bats, but he starts to move her to the outside. Then he moves her back down to the inside. But the body language on him tells me at this point she's still good to go. So let's take a look and see what she does down through here. Now, he's got a choice. He's going to have to go to the outside or he's going to go to the inside. He elects to go to the inside, but he's going to run into a wall of horses right here. Now he's got a dipsy doodle, change direction, come back to the outside again, come right across the track. He's going to follow James for a bit, and now he's going to take a shot, bring her to the outside. And to me, always had go. I'm a big fan of hers anyway, and I think Eddie's getting himself a nice little drive here on the drop down. I like the way that Glenborough raced in her last. You know what I mean? She's obviously an incredibly nice horse, money maker, but doesn't win many races, you know what I mean? So I'm going to play against her with Raptors 1, who I know if she's on her game, she certainly knows how to stick her nose out in front.
I agree with you. I mean, Glenborough, she's handy. I mean, she showed a bit of a different dimension last time out, but she's unreliable as well. I just worry about...
Not consistent.
Yes, and I worry a little bit, though, where Raptors 1 is going to get away. That's my only bit of concern. I thought Dirty Diana was solid last time out, too, coming first over in what was a pretty quick back half. I think she merits respect in race number 3 as well. We're going to skip over 4 and go to race number 5. We got a field of 10 going postward. We spoke about the fillies and mares open. We have a couple of class droppers here. Grit and Grace and Sensationalize are going to be exiting, some open tries. Both of them, I think, need to start maybe, or Grit and Grace specifically. We know she's a lot better than what she's shown last time. I think that she probably will be better suited having a target to chase if she can get a few of those trips here. I don't know if we're going to see that tonight per se, but I'm curious to know where you went in this particular direction because this is a wide open affair.
When always Dawn.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I do. I think that she needed that start in her last race there. We're not going to show you a replay on her, but 2 down, she raced on July the 3rd. And then she comes back into that last start August the 15th. So basically missed, a month, 5, maybe 6 weeks racing. And what I kind of liked about that start, so they go 25-4 out of there. He raced her out of there, and he moved her. He moved her to the outside off of all that time up in non-winners of the 12,000. He moved her. She must have felt good, and he took a chance with her. It didn't work out, obviously. She tired, but only got beat 3. Now she comes back more or less to the same class, but she's got a very, very nice date to work with. She went out of there 25-4, so I know she's got the gate speed to get herself into a good spot. So I think that Always Dawn, I'm surprised she's not even being used on the right-hand side of the program, so I'm a little shocked when you said that, but I truly do believe that she brings a lot more depth than a lot of these other ones do.
I agree with you. I think the first over trip for her last time out was huge. I mean, that's not her trip. Like you said, she leaves out of their heart, has to go first over, missing a month,
all that time.
multiple moves, and I think that Tyler's been a really good pairing for Always Dawn. I think he's done a great job sitting behind some of these, Kevin Ben charges as well. I know that Kevin Ben and company, they're just lucky. They really appreciate the job that everybody does sitting behind, his horses, and I think Tyler Borth, when given the opportunity, has really done a strong job. And there's some speed to chase in here for Always Dawn. I mean, we don't know what we're going to see from Madrid, Grit and Grace, and a few others off the gate. I think that could really bode well for her, and I'm hoping that she can flash that late speed on the end of it and pick off a few rivals.
Yeah, I'm looking at it as maybe getting out of there and landed right on Madrid's back, who,
I wouldn't mind.
obviously with the chop. I'm not sure where they're going to race Sensationalize, but I'm really hoping that with Grit and Grace, they maybe give her an easy one. That last trip was a toughie, and it just seemed to me like she was just starting to kind of get a little bit stronger, a little bit better, and then her last two starts, multiple moves both times.
Yeah, you could see it way back down when, Jody had her covered up there on June 27th. I thought she responded with a good effort. Those are the kind of trips that I think she probably needs more consistently just to get her confidence back.
And then take your chance.
Yes, absolutely. All right, we're going to skip over 6 and 7 and go to race number 8, our OSS Grassroots Leg for 2-year-old.
Little rain coming, John.
You can hear the thunder, you can hear the rain. It's been coming down. Came down pretty hard on my way in. Came down really, really hard. And this is going to kick off that late pick 5. We've got a field of 11 here, second-tier starter and wheels up. The Swooper, he should have every chance to break his maiden here tonight, I feel like. But I think a few others in here have an opportunity to find the winner's circle as well. Where'd you go?
I went Swooper.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think that it's his race to win and lose there. I mean, I like Just Keep Flying, but he's got the 10 hole to deal with. Wheels Up, to me, is probably the class of not the class, but the talent of the field. But, he's kind of hit and miss right now, and he's got that 11 spot, the trailer, so I'm not really sure where we're going to go there. But, the one that sort of scares me a little bit is this Yankee Scout. I threw him in for 4th, but just look down at the horses that he's had to take on that have beat him in the last little while. C-Script, Yes I Am Hanover, Big D Energy, Billy Hill, and DA. All jokes aside, like, this guy has never had an easy field to face yet, and I think this one's a little bit easier in here, so I'm going to throw him in as a mix too.
There's a look at the points in the stats board or the standings board right now with some of these OSS grassroots as far as this field is concerned. Just Keep Flying. What are we going to do with him? I mean, was awesome. 2 starts back, just jogging in 51 and change. Really wasn't all that sharp in a 53 and change mile. I know time doesn't mean too much, but I really thought he took a step backwards last week, especially after the way he raced his two efforts prior.
Yeah, and parked every step of the mile last week from the 9 hole. Now he gets the 10 hole. Do you take the chance again?
Who knows?
I don't know either. I mean, he's got to make points. There's no doubt about that. I mean, he's only got the 33 points made up so far. This year he's got to make points, but I don't know if I maybe come out of there half-cocked and look for a float and a tuck.
All right, so there's a look at race number 8. That's going to be grassroots action for these 2-year-old pacing colts. We're going to move on to race number 9. Here's our $44,000 open trot. James McDonald slated to drive his charge that he co-owns along with Paige McDonald's. A hasty bid. Going to be tight for time, though, isn't it, in terms of making it back from Pocono to here, especially with the weather. But nevertheless, hasty bid. Good to see him back in action off a runner-up qualifying effort. But a really nice group of trotters here going Polstered. Curious to know where you went here in this spot.
Gaines Hanover is the route that I'm going to go. I thought that this horse was racing really, really good. For Justin Turcotte, moved into Claude Cadou's barn in his last, but that was the Earl Row. The week before that, he raced in the Open. He threw a shoe, still ended up trotting a mile in 52, finishing 4th in there, multiple moves, and then, like I said, goes up to the Earl Row, has to come first over, and check out that 3rd quarter that he had to come first over and do 27 flat. That's in against Logan Park, a Moticon Legacy. I mean, he just was, in a bad way. Dame Good Time got this one in for 2nd. I really look at it as Dame Good Time is going to chop this mile out, and I'm hoping that he's able to drop Gaines Hanover down in on his back, and then we'll see what happens there. I think Major Velocity could also kind of surprise things a little bit. Where'd you go?
I went to Dame Good Time. He's going to be my best bet, actually. I think that he's got a good draw to work with. He's coming off a sharp effort last time out. I'm hoping that Scott Young can guide him to a trip to the winner's circle. This son of Chapter 7, I mean, he's a pretty sharp trotter, and he's been sharp so far this year. So I'm hoping he can put it all together here this evening. All right, there's a look at race number 9. We're going to move on to race number 10. Scratch down to a field of 9 here. An honor to 25,000. Big scratch, Century Komodo. He was a big-time player. As we saw the rain, we can hear it quite a bit, though, can't we? I mean, it is coming down outside right now, but really, really talented group of aged pacers that we're going to see going postward here for this event, though, Randy. And how about the rail starter, Vessam? I know this is one that you want to highlight, and I think for good reason. This is a Jacques Dupont trainee who has been eye-catching so far in a couple of his most recent outings.
He was my all-in before the scratch.
Yeah, me too. Same with me. Yeah, I agree.
Me too. And I mean, we've been playing Century Komodo, you and I, and with good results, you know. So let's take a look at the replay of Vessam. And I mean, you have to pull the trigger on this guy at some point because he is just racing incredibly well. I know it's a tough field of horses in here, but this guy is razor sharp right now. So let's take a look at the replay here. Had the 8-hole, JR powers him out of there, ends up getting away fourth with this guy. And, you know, well, I'll let you see what happens from this point on. So you can see JR right now in the 2-hole with this guy, Tyler Jones. I think this is Calico Jack, isn't it?
You gave out this exactor last time out. You liked Calico Jack Hanover, and it's a good thing that Tyler Jones kept the rails shut because I don't think he was going to get his picture taken, in my opinion at least. As talented as Calico Jack is, look at the body language right now on J.R. Plant with Vessam.
And it gets worse.
Gets worse. I mean, again, kudos to Tyler keeping the rails shut. That's exactly what you want to do when you've got a live contender on your back, and that was the big difference here in this runner-up effort. And in terms of Calico Jack getting the job done. But Vessam, I could see an early remove. I could see him pushing out of there and just removing, not wanting to take any chances. And how could you not? When you've been locked in your most recent outing, you want to avoid playing it to chance there. But Calico Jack Hanover, Vessam going to be a popular selection by many, a sweep.
And you said, too, as well there about maybe a remove to the front or something. If you go to that qualifier, John, check out the horses that he beat that day, Uncle Shank and All-Star Maniac, and both horses from that qualifier. Uncle Shank's gone out and winning 48, and All-Star Maniac sat last there, last week in non-winners of 9,000 and winning 49, and he beat them in the qualifier. So I think he can definitely go to the front and last.
All right, to competitive field in race number 10, that's going to be your last pick 3 opportunity of the evening. We're going to go to race number 11, a field of 9. We're going to see another class dropper here in Stonebridge Helios, who's going to start from post number 6. So really hasn't done much over his last few outings, but we know he's capable of a lot more, and maybe all he needs is a drop in class. And having Bob McClure back in this spot, too, has gotten along with him pretty well. I could expect him to be going down the road here tonight and taking no prisoners.
100%. So we're going to show a replay, and I'll go all the way down to June the 13th because this was number 1. This was a non-winners of 9,000. He's racing in non-winners of 2,500 tonight. This is what he can do when he's on his game. This is going to be with Dexter Dunn, but we've seen Bob McClure do the exact same thing with Stonebridge Helios. When Paul Court has this guy on his game, look out because the speed is just oozing out of this horse. So Dexter Dunn will be driving him in this race. And, more or less the same sort of situation that you'll see with a Bob McClure. He'll get to the front, and they will let this guy roll. This time they're down to the 3/4 and 122-1, an overall mile of 49-4. And again, this is non-winners of 9,000. Some of the horses that he beat that day, Jordy N and Double and Dasher, so there's some pretty nice horses in this race, and at no point are they going to really get to this guy at all. And again, this is a double drop from this class that you're looking at right here. This race that you're looking at, he's going to take a double drop down in class.
I'm with you. I mean, I think this is a good opportunity for him to get back to the winner's circle, and it's going to be a sweep of 6s in here. I know he's not bringing much form as of late, but I think this is a spot where even if he's not at his 100% best, he still should have every chance to get his picture taken. There's our thoughts on race number 11. We're going to skip over to race number 12. That's going to close things up here. Pop-up series starters. I think a pretty wide open affair to close out this program, and this is a spot where that jackpot high 5 carryover pool continues to grow just short of 200,000. And again, we've still got a few more race cards. I don't know when they're going to pull the plug on a mandatory, but you and I just say keep on rolling. I love seeing this number grow.
I hope it gets up to 600.
Yeah, I would love to see it just get higher.
Me too.
Higher and higher.
I went JK Black Gold. I know it's a little bit of a stale date, but so many times we've seen Pollock send up strange horses to Dave Maneri first time, picks up James McDonald. And, Grin and Win is going to be the one that I'm going to be playing against in here. And, if you look at their summaries, Grin and Win's been a really nice horse. But if you look at their summaries, Grin and Win, 147 lifetime. The other horse, 281. Grin and Win, 7 races, 1 lifetime. The other horse, 19 wins. Grin and Win, lifetime mark so far, 50-1. The other horse, 49 and change. So he just seems to me that he maybe outdoes Grin and Win, in most cases, and he picks up Mare. And like I said, we've seen this situation so many times. This horse wins 7 races last year and only 27 starts.
I don't know if this is going to result in a delay or not, but the rain is coming down. Some thunder, some lightning, and some heavy rain, but nevertheless.
You got interviews tonight?
Fortunately, I do not. Thank God that they moved the eliminations. Thank you to race office or whoever
Mr.
was in
Gillespie.
charge, Billy.
Billy
Everybody
McLean.
moving the eliminations to yesterday because I was a lot drier and I'm a lot happier when I'm dry.
Well, we had an umbrella for you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if that still would have done me too much.
Might blow you away.
You would think. All right, let's look at some pick 5 ticket ideas here. And 2 singles for you in races 3 and 4. A couple of risky singles.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely some riskies. And it's not an expensive ticket, $18 ticket. You can add if you want. But, I'm going to use, my top 3 selections in race number 1. Race number 2, my top pick is going to be Sunshine Magic, Superior Delight. I'm going to play against her. Race 3, I'm going to go Raptors 1. I like the replay in her last. Race number 4, I went 3 deep in this one. Up Joey's Credit's going to be my top pick. And then race number 5, I'm a big fan of Always Dawn, so I'm going to single out.
All right, so let's take a look at the way I do things. I'm with you. I keyed Always Dawn as well. I mean, she's going to be my value play. I went all in on Can't Turn You Down. I just hope the good times can keep on rolling and the trips to the winner's circle can continue. And just some coverage in those middle legs. I feel like if I get Always Dawn across, this is one that should pay okay. But bookend singles for me, I'm going to need a lot of help in the opener here. So there's a look at both of our pick 5 tickets as well, Randy's and myself. Let's look at some plays of the night. I'm sure that you touched on a couple of them.
Yeah, I'm going to start off in race number 1 as my beat the favorite is going to be Naughty Delight, second start Lasix for her. In race number 2, Sunshine Magic is going to be Waples Watch. Shows you that replay. I think that this is a nice drop down for her to, maybe pick up a win for Team Cullen. And Worth a Look is going to come along in race number 3, and that's going to be Raptors 1, the other Team Cullen horse, and All In Vesum in race number 2.
All right, a couple of hopeful price players there for you, and best of luck to you, Randy, and best of luck to everybody playing along. Here's a look at my plays board. Always Dawn going to be my value. Spot play is going to be Asiago Sealster. My best bet, Dame Good Time. My all-in's going to be Vesum. So you and I both hoping that Tyler Borth can deliver on a couple of prices here, tonight. With me. I shouldn't say prices, but horses that a lot of people didn't factor in. You with Naughty Delight.
Yeah.
Myself with Asiago Sealster.
A lot of my plays coming in the first half of the card. Yours is all coming at the back half.
So hopefully we've got some bankroll to tail both of our selections. Let's take a look at some other resident handicappers and their thoughts. Boy, it is a much different background setting there. A very wet one. Codename Cigar Box, Ploucha spot play.
Pick.
Superior Delight, Garnet Barnsdale spot play, and Gislan Piquet. He's with you on Sunshine Magic. It's time. All right, we've got 12 on tap on this Saturday night program. It looks like it's going to be a wet edition here. We'll be back momentarily here to touch you on race 12. 12 pack on the Saturday night, I should say.